All right, so you said you was in a relationship that ended maybe what? How many months has it been now?
Oh,
4,
maybe 2, 3 months ago.
2, 3 months. Okay.
Yeah,
How
right
how long
before
were
we
y'all together?
we were together for a year.
For 1 year.
Yeah, we
Okay.
were together for a year.
What did you learn from that situation?
I'd have to say I had more patience in that relationship than I ever had in any relationship before.
Okay.
I've spoken before. I've grown into the woman that I am today. Um, he was a guy that I dated 20 years ago, and then when I came back to Atlanta, and it was just on some friend stuff, and then we got back together.
Okay.
And it ultimately ended because I don't think he saw me.
Okay.
I don't think that I was his type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that um, I fit the prototype of what he wanted in a woman. Because ultimately, in the end, the problems that we had was based on him not seeing me,
Mm-hmm.
him not appreciating me.
Mm-hmm.
And during that, but I would say I grew patience in trying to figure out what was going on.
Okay.
Because typically my response to, like, why did you do me like that? It's over. It's done with. I'm not about to go through these cycles of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned to kind of sit back and listen and let things play out, and it caused me to be understanding and be patient.
Okay.
But so in the end, when it ended, it really was, it just needed to end.
Gotcha.
And I'm proud of myself for letting that happen. It just needed to end.
Okay. And that makes sense. I love that even though you feel like you wasn't receiving what it was that you needed from him,
Right.
you still was able to grow within that situation because you allowed yourself to have patience that you hadn't had
Yes.
before. So yeah, that's it's always a beautiful thing to see when someone is in a situationship or relationship and they feel like they're on the bad side of it, they're not receiving what it is that they feel like they need, but yet you still see growth from that person
Yes.
in the relationship. So that's a beautiful thing. Is there anything else that you took from that relationship other than your own self growth?
He was a master at networking. I
Okay.
don't know how to network. I don't know how to do that. And when I would watch him network, if I got nothing else from that, and that's why relationships, they have a time and they have a frame in your
Yeah,
life.
that's right.
He taught me how to network, and he was a manager of a artist. It taught me how you build relationships with your peers, and he was smart. He was a good guy and he was a smart guy. And I learned how to maneuver in a world I didn't know how to be in, and that's the artistic world, the creative world, the people who make their own way. And if I gained nothing else from that, I gained that. And I appreciate that. And I really, really do appreciate that.
One thing that's very refreshing when I hear you talk about stuff is that you are aware that there are people that are in your life for a season.
Oh, yeah.
Because I heard you say in the video that I was playing earlier that, somebody might be in your life for 5 years, somebody might be in your life for 10 years. Take the good, take the bad for what it's worth, and you can leave that situation and still be okay. That's important. And, especially to hear it come from a woman, because a lot of women, they get into something hoping and expecting for it to
Oh.
last forever, and then they're devastated when it comes to an end.
Right.
And they let it tear them down emotionally and put them in a very negative headspace for
Right.
a long time, and then a lot of times that trickles down to the next relationship. But for you to take that approach of being like, oh no, like I learned from this, I'm moving past this, I'm not gonna let this destroy me, I'm not gonna bring this into the next
Yeah.
relationship. That's good.
Thank you.
That is good. I love that.
But you know why I was able to do that? I tapped out early.
Mm.
I tapped out early. What I find when the woman that you describe, that woman put way too much life, effort, and energy into a man that does not see her. And I felt, and I'll be very honest with you, I felt myself tipping over to that. And I realized I'm sick of having this conversation about this just the way that you're sick of hearing about it. So you know what? I don't want to be this person. Obviously, there's something going on that's making me feel uneasy and make me feel unappreciated. And I keep trying to figure it out, but I don't need to figure out anything.
Yeah.
It does not matter. The fact that I feel unseen, let's go ahead and tap on out of this one. And because I tapped out before I became that angry chick in the relationship, is why I can speak about it the way I did. Too many women hold on, trying to make sense of it, trying to make it work. It got to be something here. Just because I love him and I think he loves me, I can't be with somebody that doesn't see me. I just can't. And that's a requirement for me. And I keep fighting. Like, why do you do everybody else like this except for me? And at that point, I don't need to know at this point.
Yeah.
It's done. We're good. We're good. And that's it. Tap the hell out. You don't have to stay.
That's right.
Don't let that joker make you bitter. And the truth is, at a certain point, you're making yourself bitter.
Male or female, tap out.
Tap out. Take what you can from it and go.
That's some really sound advice. Some really sound advice.
Thank you. I try.
Right.
I'm getting to be a big girl. If you want to stick to your standards, stick to your standards.
Right.
But just know you're knocking a whole bunch of people out.
A lot.
And if you're comfortable with knowing you're knocking everyone off the list, and at the other side, at the end of the game, you know what? I tried. I didn't get what I wanted. Now I'm going to go ahead and settle for this. Be cool about it. You made a choice. But you can't get to the other side and then be mad about what you got. Like, you picked everybody off. So, but to tap into what you're saying, a lot of men are doing that too. They're not chasing the pretty girl like they used to. You know, a lot of men are like, I get it, but that's not what I want anymore.
Correct.
They of course, they'll always love beautiful women.
Right.
But a lot of men are switching their hats too. Like that glam girl that they've been chasing, I don't know if I necessarily want her.
What I tell you guys in the video that I posted about her, the warm up, the Q&A video, I said that's exactly what I did. I was like, let me stop chasing after the ones that I deemed to be the most attractive. I'm like, because a lot of times they have the worst personality.
Oh man, there was a TikTok creator who said that they're beautiful and they gotten everything that they want. They've never had to work on the personalities.
Yes.
So when the looks are no longer going to work, like, what do you have? And a personality is what's going to keep a relationship together. I don't.
That's correct.
Then what they tell you.
That's correct.
A personality and a vibe and energy is going to keep you guys together. Or unless you guys are a business couple, you got
right.
something.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
So let's find out what Yaya's standards is. And let's see if they're realistic or unrealistic. Go ahead, run them off. What you got?
Okay.
What are you looking for?
I want a guy who's very comfortable in his skin.
Okay. What does that look like, though?
That means...
You mean secure or insecure?
He's very secure.
Gotcha. Okay.
I like confident men. Men who can follow and lead just as comfortably.
Okay.
I like men who understand... how do I explain this? I don't need a man who wants a traditional woman because I'm not a traditional woman. But I want a man who has a classic way about himself.
Gotcha.
Like, he carries himself like his reputation is important to him. He carries himself like his money is valuable to him. And it's his. Right. It's not for everybody else. It's his. Right. You know, I like a man who cares about his health. I like a man who cares about technology and music and art. A man, especially when I'm older and dating, a lot of older men have tapped all the way out and they just stuck listening to Jay-Z. I want a man who wants to move forward, who wants to keep thriving, who keeps wanting moving and exploring and learning new things. I want a man who is attractive. You know, I want to be able to look at you and like what I'm seeing.
Right.
And that's health-wise, hygiene-wise, which is important to say for some reason. A man who keeps up with the trends. You're not trying to be, you don't trying to be 20, but you're trying to be a fly 40-something. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I like a man who likes women.
Most certainly. I
like a man who appreciates the femininity of a woman, who appreciates the fact that we do have emotional moments, and he's okay with that. I do want a man who understands I like candles. I like doing different exciting things, and he doesn't mind doing them with me. Yeah. A lot of men today that I've come across, they're so narrow. And they're not willing to venture out. Like, you chose to be with a woman for a reason. Let me be a woman.
Precisely.
And I like that. And I do like a man who can crack jokes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to... I like a man who crack a joke on me. I could crack a joke on him.
Mm-hmm.
And we could chill. We could sit next to each other and we're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could talk and debate for hours.
What you're asking for is fair. It's probably the best freaking response I've ever heard to that question. The best one I never heard, because none of it sounded materialistic.
Now let me back up.
Look, okay. Oh,
hold on.
What you got?
Don't get too comfortable.
She was like, I got more.
We still gotta live.
That's correct.
You can't be broke. And
No.
if you are broke, you shouldn't be out here dating.
Facts.
You still gotta have some money. You still gotta have be able to handle business, because if the business isn't handled, none of that matters.
No.
Just make that very, very, very clear.
I agree.
And the most of you guys out here complaining that women want this and want that, are you doing the bare minimum?
Right.
Because let's pull that back just a little bit.
Because what do we say? What do y'all always hear? If it ain't on my channel, it's on every other guy's channel that talk about this stuff. Is focus on you, King.
That's it.
Focus on you so that you can put yourself in a position to be able to focus on someone else too. It's important.
Yes.
You can't be out here running your mouth saying, oh, these women, this, that, and the fourth, when you ain't got your ish together.
Only woman in your life that like you is your mama.
Mm-hmm.
No, come on, man, get it together.
Especially if you're still living with her, you might want to.
I don't know. It's 2022. If I could move back in with my mama, I mean, since we talking, it's different now. It's different. It's a little bit, but he gotta have something. He has to be settled, and his running the street days
Gotta be over.
I like the fact that you still get excited about the streets, because that means you try a little bit.
Right.
I don't want you to give up and tap out, but you can't have that new booty smell on you. Like you just chasing. I don't want that.
Okay.
We're old at this point.
Now, yeah, you listen to her, and everything she says sounds like a woman that is living in this era.
I try.
She sounds like you, but yeah,
it
sounds like you're living in this era. And then especially, I pay close attention to the things that you said in the beginning in regards to what you want and expect from a man. And it sounds also like you want a man that can continue to grow as the era changes.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to tap out.
No.
This is round 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people, COVID put something in you.
Yeah.
And COVID put in me that I'm trying to live this life. I'm trying to be out here. I'm trying to do something new. The 9 to 5 doesn't work for me. Never has really.
Same.
And it seems not working for nobody.
Yeah.
So let's try something new.
Yeah.
And what I realized, you want somebody that you can grow with, because if you don't physically die first,
Mm-hmm.
your mind and your spirit will.
No, certainly.
So you have to be wise about who you pick.
Yeah.
You really do. Health-wise, mental-wise, financial-wise. Y'all just got to be on the same page at minimum.
Yeah.
Because that attachment can make or break you.
I have an idea. Let's, from this point on, all of us try to do something different.
Yeah.
Let's try to be the best person that we can, first and foremost for ourselves. Yeah. And then when we decide that we want to date or get to know someone, let's also try to be the best person that we can for that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try to be understanding. Let's actually try to communicate thoughts and feelings.
We women always talk about communication, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we want. To hear guys say that communication is important, what do you expect from a woman in the communication world? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what makes her different from the rest and why she communicates?
One thing that I notice when it comes to women is a lot of times the way they respond to either something that you said to them or something that you did will be expressive visually, but not verbally. So they might expect for you to know how they felt because of the look on their face, and not actually verbalize to you how they felt or how whatever you said or did made them feel. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's one of the things when it comes to communication, is having that woman actually verbalize, hey, this is what I felt in that moment, and be able to iterate it in a way that is understandable.
Right. Right. That is a big thing. And that comes with maturity. I'm guilty of that. That comes with maturity.
Now, to talk about the communication on the guy side of it, a lot of times what we're expecting when we're getting ready to talk to the woman and to communicate with them is to be heard, to be respected, and to not be judged on what we say to you.
I've heard guys say that so much that they feel like they can't express themselves to their ladies. I can't grasp that.
Because what happens and what we feel when we're trying to express ourselves to a woman is we can either see or hear in her tone of voice that she heard something different than what we said. She heard something that made it feel like maybe it was an attack on her, or she heard something that she just kind of processed way different, so she can't really understand where it was, where you were coming from. Especially if a man is being vulnerable with the female and opening up about something. She might look at that as a weakness for whatever that thing was that you told her, instead of just hearing you out and trying to understand it for what it was. Because a lot of times, you can't see something from the perspective of someone else, especially if it's something you haven't lived.
I'm listening and I'm learning. So why are you assuming that her reaction to what you said is based on her not understanding versus she's trying to process it? Why can't you can't you look at it that way? Well,
because a lot of times it's not an assumption. A lot of times when they do open their mouth to address what you just told them, they got it all fucked up. It don't be an assumption. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times it's not an assumption. It's like, damn, what did you just hear? Or like, why did you kind of like weaponize what I just tell you?
Gotcha. Okay.
You understand?
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no, it don't be an assumption. Most time it don't be an assumption, but a lot of times you'll see, because a female can look at you a certain type of way when you tell them stuff, and automatically you're thinking like, damn, she feels some type of way about what I just said. She feels some type of way about what I said. She is in disgust, complete disgust right now with what I just told her. And she may not verbalize what her face is saying.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Take that in. So I know that you are dating a woman that really stands out from everybody else, right? What were some things about the previous women that you have gone on dates with, especially the ones where it was just one date and we're done?
Yeah.
What were the things that you saw or felt that you're like, I don't do this again? Because sometimes women, we don't know how we come across. And I'll give you a good example of this. I don't like going to the movies. I hate going to the movies. I think it's a waste of money. I think it costs too much. I think it's a waste of time. And I can't stay focused on the movie to save my soul. So when movies was a thing and a guy would ask me to go to the movies, I'd be like, I would cut him off before he even asked me. I really don't like going to the movies. I was thinking in my head, I'm telling him what I don't want to do so that we can have a great date. And then I got a dog. And I would meet a man who would tell me, yeah, I don't really like dogs. And in my head is, I don't even know you like that for you to tell me whether or not you like dogs. And I realized I was hindering good guys because I'm already putting blocks in the way.
Correct.
And it could be, maybe I met this guy who likes to go to the movies and I want to live that RV life one day. We could have had a yin and yang situation.
Yeah.
He go on an RV trip for me on the weekends. I go to the movies with him, but I blocked him out already, if that makes sense.
It does, because that happened a lot. I experienced that a lot. I experienced that a whole lot. And so the difference between, like, with the female I'm talking to now, because her and I had this conversation as well, and some of those other experiences that I had with just trying to get to know women on the first couple of dates, is a lot of times that what you brought up will come up. Because, like, I'm mindful of it now. I don't ask women on dates to movies. I don't, because of that same thing. Yeah. And then you gotta also think, like, you sit there, you're supposed to be quiet. You're not supposed to be communicating with one another. You're supposed to sit, and then what? After that, you just leave. Like, you got nothing of that. Nothing came from that. But what got me a lot of the times was I like to do all different type of things. I like to go out and maybe do mini golf or go skating at the park. I like to do a lot of different stuff. And what was happening is I would try to see if women would come and want to do some of these things with me, and they would be like, "Oh, I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. I don't like." They would turn down so much stuff. It's just like, what do you like to do? Or you just like shop and eat? Like, that's boring. That's boring to me if that's all you care to do.
Right.
Like, I need to be able to see you in different lights to know how you act and react to certain situations. You know, and that happened a lot. That happened a lot. And one thing I like about this girl is she liked to do different activities like I like to do.
Right.
You know, so we can sit there, and then those activities helped us bond together so much.
Yeah.
And you know, it was like the endorphins. It was just like going back and forth with one another. And that was one of the major differences. Is like, okay, this is somebody I can have fun with. The stuff that I want to do, she want to do as well.
What other red flags on first dates? On first dates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, shut this down.
Simple. When they open up about previous relationships and they want to sit there and run their mouth about it.
Oh my God.
Biggest red flag. Biggest red flag. Another big red flag for me.
Don't do it.
Don't ever. Please.
I don't care if she asks you.
Don't do it.
Shut that conversation down.
Yes. End it
don't
real quick.
Don't volunteer it.
And don't volunteer, please. Yes. But another major red flag to me, and this happened to me 12 times in a row with 12 different women. 12 in a row. Before there was a break, it happened 12 in a row.
That's a hell of an intro.
Wow. I just recently got out of a relationship.
What's wrong with that though? That was a setup, but I don't get why the setup on that.
Every time it was a failed setup because, in my experience, it had never exceeded a month. Think about that.
So you really weren't in a relationship, and
no, like the females.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like they weren't really in a relationship.
They weren't in a relationship, but they had recently got out, and it had only been a week or a month since they got out.
So you look at it as you got attachment issues, or you really weren't in a relationship.
So the way that I was looking at it was, they're not ready. They're not past this. They still need to do some healing. They might even go back to this guy, because a lot of time I would keep pursuing.
Yeah.
Only to find out, oh look, I'm kind of giving another try with my boyfriend. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
That was happening a lot.
Right. You're right.
That was happening a whole lot. So whenever a female tell me I just recently got out of a relationship, I'm running.
Yeah.
The opposite way every single time now. So.
Okay, so I won't say that no more.
yeah, right. Yeah, you can't tell nobody that no more.
You can't tell nobody.
Yeah.
To go into that, if you're constantly talking about your ex, if you're constantly talking about your ex, I'm going to tell you, that means you're thinking about your ex.
Yes.
That means your ex is on your mind. That means that's where your head is. Regardless of whether it is nothing going on, if you keep talking about that person, why am I here?
That's right.
Why am I here? Let's just go ahead and tap out on this. I do not want to hear about your ex. I don't want to know about your ex. I don't want to see pictures about your ex. Because the truth is, whether you know it or not, us women, we will compare our relationship with you now to your other relationship. And if we see stuff and how happy you are, and we see stuff on this joy in these moments, like, why don't you have those moments with me? Why are you women don't need to see that. Once our mind gets turning, it's going to be a comparison game. You don't want us to. You may think that there's nothing compared to, but it does.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I never heard that, or maybe I haven't, just didn't pay it a whole lot of attention, that a woman will compare y'all relationship with your previous relationship with other women. Typically, from what a lot of guys get is that a woman will compare your relationship, the one that you're currently in with them, with their previous relationships and the guys that they dated. It's almost like they're trying to put pressure on you to either be like him in certain aspects, the good qualities, or to make up for what he lacked.
I think it goes both ways. Definitely. But if you're constantly talking about your ex, it just feeds into it.
Correct.
It just feeds into it.
Yeah.
If they don't see anything, if they don't know anything, that person is gone, there are no photos, there are no records, that's different. There's nothing to compare. There's nothing to talk about. But if there's constant reminders, then there's the comparison game. But I think everybody, to go into what you're saying, I think everybody kind of compares the new person to the old person.
For sure.
And you just can't hold on to the old person, because that old person didn't work for a reason.
Right.
And if you keep trying to relive that past and relive those moments, you're going to be disappointed. You just can't do that.
And a lot of times what people do, I feel like maybe females do it more, is it's like they're waiting for certain things to happen with the new person that happened with the old, that with the bad.
You can't do that.
You can't wait around for that stuff. Now,
you'd be disappointed. That relationship that you had in the past was with a different person in the past.
That's correct.
And you're never going to relive those moments. I had to go through that process. I know a couple of people that had to go through those process. And if you keep trying to, you can't. It's just, that's not how time works.
Correct.
And this is a new person, a new time, new year, post-COVID. Move forward. Move forward. There are certain basic things, the love that you felt, but the little details that caused you to feel that love, a new person's never going to be able to get that for you.
No. Yeah, it's always a new love. It's always a different love, each situationship you get into. Now, let me ask you a very important question. What is, if not one, but two or three, but what is your love language? I
am a touch girl.
Gotcha.
If I like you, I want to touch you. I also, intimacy is very important to me. Not like, I like us talking to each other, but I think a physical relationship is very important to me.
Same.
Because I think that, and I know some people are not going to really like this, but I think that once you stop the physical part of the relationship, I think you just become friends.
Yeah.
And I think having a physical connection with someone keeps you young. I think it really does, keeps your skin tight. Because the people I know that stop that, they look different.
They look old.
They look old. I can't remember what the 5 love languages are, and I should know it because it comes up all the time.
There's the physical touch. There's words of affirmation.
You know what? As I've gotten older, words of affirmation become important to me.
Nice.
Because, and I've spoken to this on my page, as you get older, people don't see you as much.
Correct.
And it takes so much more effort to feel your beauty, to feel your essence. And I need my man to tell me I'm pretty. I need him to tell me your butt looks good, baby. I need him to tell me that, like, he sees me. Because I don't get it from everybody else like I used to. And there are times where you get older, you feel more insecure about your age. You feel insecure sometimes about the weight you put on. About, the fact that you're not 20-something years old anymore.
Correct.
And I think that has come with time. I need to hear that.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Right.
But sprinkle that in.
Most certainly. It's important.
Sprinkle that in. Okay, so we got words.
We got words of affirmation.
Touch.
We got touch. We got quality time.
Quality time, I don't think I need it as much.
Okay.
Because I want a man that got some stuff going on. And I want to have some stuff going on. And I want the time that when we see each other, I want it to be sparkly. And I want us to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I think that in the world of social media, in the world of texting, you know too much about your partner, and you don't have anything to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be up under you all the time, and you don't have to be up under me all the time. But when we are up under each other, I'm about to make you so sick of me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to sick of me.
But for me, because my biggest one when it comes to love language is the quality time.
Yeah.
But my quality time, what I ask for is what you stated, which is we don't got to be underneath each other all the time. Right. But when we together, and it feels good.
Yeah.
Like for me, let me see at least once a week.
Yeah.
At least once a week. You know what I'm saying?
By quality time, we can be in the same house. You be in the living room, I be in here.
Yeah.
I don't have to be up under you all the time, but when I do go in there, I'm going to jump on you.
Right.
Like, that's what I mean. I've never been a materialistic girl, but if you can get me an RV.
She want her RV.
I want the RV. I want
like the second, third time she just
I want the freedom of being able to get up and go. If whatever you are gifting me can give me freedom to come and go as I please, if it's stocks, If it's whatever, that's the kind of gift I'm talking about.
Nice.
But I don't need a purse. I don't need I like shoes. I do like shoes. But I don't. That material things don't really thrill me, especially after COVID. I if you follow me, I've sold everything, started all over again. Very minimal in life, but I like the freedom. If you can give me freedom to come and go, that's my thing.
Acts of service, yeah.
Acts of service. I don't know if I necessarily need acts of service because I do a lot. I'm a busybody. I do a lot. And I've been an independent woman all my life. So acts of service are nice, but I don't know if I necessarily need it because I've done everything for myself already. Okay. And I do most things for me. Like I want you to hold my door for me. I want you to cook meals for me, but it's not, we ain't even got cook meals for me. Just, I don't know if that's a love language for me.
Gotcha.
I think if you had caught me younger before I had become so self-sufficient, it may be something that I need.
Okay.
But it's not that important to me.
So run through one more time. What's the main love languages for you?
Physical touch. Intimacy is a big one for me. I got to be able to touch you, and I want to be able to make love to you, and the same to me. I got to be turned on by you. That's important to me. And then also, gifts is not.
Quality time.
Good quality time, I guess.
Yeah.
When we're together, we're together.
Yeah. Present.
When you're, there we go. Right. I need you to be present.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good thing for me.
So those are the main two for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't take much to make me happy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
So, but the curse of that is, if you can't do the minimum, there's a problem.
For sure.
And that will cause you to get cut real quick. Like, I don't really ask for much, and you can't even do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and end this crap.
So it seems like you're someone who you can quickly cut somebody off.
It could quickly cut somebody off, and I could quickly, what do they say, departmentalize people. And like, okay, I see that you and I are going to be in the long run, but I can see that you and I can work for right now. I'm really good about that. And sometimes they may not even know that has happened. But it's good that it's.
See, I actually like that. I wish more women were like that, because it would take a lot of pressure. It would take a lot of pressure off the men to feel like, oh, she might want this to be a forever thing when I'm not sure if it is.
Not everything has to be a forever thing.
That's right.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy dating. And I wish more women would get that. Enjoy dating. Don't put pressure on every man to be your man. Get off of this guilt trip that, just get off of it and enjoy it. And I promise you, if you enjoy it, you'll be happy. You'll have a glow, and men will flock to you, and they won't even know why. But just be happy and enjoy it. And the truth is, if you have to put pressure on a man to be your man, he don't want to be your man. He don't want to be your man.
That's right. That's
so just let it go
right.
before you become bitter. Just tap out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It is just like when you put pressure on man to marry you, like you trying to put an end date on it. I've heard her say, look, if he ain't planning on marrying you, he ain't gonna marry you.
I've never understood that.
Ain't it crazy?
I'm not married. I got to give this disclaimer. I'm not married. I've never had that marriage bugging me, and we've talked about this earlier. I had this whole perspective on marriage. Meant you had to go to Home Depot, you had to go to the soccer games, you had to live in the suburbs. I'm now more open to the idea of marriage because I now know that marriage can be customized. Yeah. It doesn't have to look like, what people told you it was supposed to look like all your life. But I still have never understood how you as a woman could beg a man to commit his life to you. I've never understood that. If he keeps telling you no, then it's a no. I've never gotten that concept. It's one thing if you waited it out, you're not in a rush to get married, you just want to take your time, you're both on the same pacing page. But to beg someone to commit to you, I've never understood that. Not marriage. Never, I've never good that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
with
you don't
that.
want to be here.
Right.
Why would I make you be here?
Yeah, because too often you'll see a woman might be in a relationship with a man 5-6 years and didn't 5-6 years, and then he still hasn't put a ring on the finger, and then she's like, all right, next year. He's like, maybe. Certain people feel like there's a time frame. I even used to hear Kevin Samuel say, if it's more than 2 years, then he ain't gonna marry you.
I don't know if it's the time frame. I think it is the request thing. I told my man, I want to get married, baby, and we want to get married in a year. My man will look at me and say, bet. Let me start saving up for this ring. Let me start figuring out what she likes, because my baby wants to get married. That is it to me. If this man looked at me and go, I'm not sure about that. I don't want that. Oh, so you don't want to marry me? That's what I heard you say. Okay, so let me move on. And then when you force him, what is so funny, like you said, you forced him for 5 years to marry you. He finally marries you, and you get a divorce.
Yeah.
And you end up getting a divorce anyways. And everything that you thought he was going to stop doing when you married him, he didn't. He just got more slick about it.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I've never understood. Baby, if I tell you this is what I need, and you look at me and you say, I don't want that, let's go.
Ladies, listen closely to what she said. She said that if the guy is saying, look, maybe not, you know what I'm saying, I ain't trying to do that right now, then she heard that as, oh, so you're not trying to marry me.
That's what I heard.
And it's a strong possibility that that's the case. Now, unless he is opening up and being verbal, because maybe it's a different reason. Maybe he feel like he ain't got his finances where he wanted to be yet. Maybe he's been married before and he really wants to do this long term with you, but he's scared because the way the previous relationship ended. There's things, but the man's gonna have to verbalize that to her so that she will know and be secure in what it is that he is telling her.
Yeah. Yep. You got to give me something.
You got to.
You can't just tell me no.
Right.
You got to give me something. I want to finish school first. Okay, well, you finish school, so let's go. I want to do this first. Nope. You're not going to drag me.
Keep dragging it, then she'll know what it really is. You're not really trying to marry her.
And I've spoken about this before, where I think when guys do that, they're really truly waiting to see if there's somebody else out there better.
Yeah.
And if I can't find somebody better, then eventually I'll tell you yes. And why would you want to be that chick? Why would you want to? Why? That's going to eat on you and your soul the entire marriage.
For sure.
Nah, you too fly for that. You too fly.
The future of dating. What direction do you think it's going in? Is it going to be a good one or is it going to be a bad one?
I think it can only go up from here. Of course, I'm not an expert in all-knowing, but I think that we've hit the bottom of dating right now. And I think, especially after COVID, people are really trying to look for a connection again. And I think that there is going to be a shift. I think that all this yelling and this screaming, why men do this, why women do this, it's because we want to break this down so we can fix it.
Exactly.
And I think that once we go through this process, oh, that's why you do that. Oh, that's what you heard. And we go through the screaming and the yelling and whatever it may be, on the other end, now we can rebuild. But I do think that it's going into a cycle where people are going to want to settle down. People are going to want to connect. And those who don't want to, they're going to be more comfortable staying in that lane and not faking it. Because I think that there are going to be people who are going to shut themselves in and they're going to go to online and they're going to be comfortable there and they're going to stay there. And I think that's going to really help things out, if that makes sense.
How long do you think that will take before we get to that place?
I don't know.
I know you're not a professional, but
I don't know.
See, because my thing is, honestly, I think that things may get worse.
Really?
I think that things may get worse. Because when you look at the rhetoric between, like how you said, the men are yelling, the women are yelling, it doesn't seem like there is enough of a balance for people to really hear one another out. Especially when you look at the comments on all these videos.
Yeah, you're reading some of the comments.
When you look at the comments of what people are saying, it sounds like people are so against the idea of having a healthy and happy relationship. It's like they just want to be angry and upset with the opposite sex or same sex, whatever it is that you're looking for. Is it they want to just be upset at those people rather than trying to self-reflect first and foremost, come to a place of understanding self so that they can be in a better place mentally to actually coexist with the opposite sex. And I feel like if we don't get to a place where people are really looking at themselves and being like, all right, I'm not all that, and I do have some things that I can work on, and I'm gonna work on them things. Until we get to that place, it's gonna only get worse.
I think with what you're saying, what I was trying to convey earlier, I think those people are going to weed themselves out.
Okay.
And I think you're going to be left with a pool of people who are fighting for love. Mm-hmm. Because now I can sift through the bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I now know to stay away from that type of person.
Okay.
And I think it's going to shift everyone out. And you're going to be stuck with people, okay, we got all the loud, mean, nasty people out the room. Mm-hmm. Over here, we're trying to find love. Mm-hmm. We've done the work. We're listening to these clips. Mm-hmm. So let's get ourselves together and let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm. That's happening. That's happening already. But the negative yells loud.
And if what do they say? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Mm-hmm. But that's why we're doing this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There is a counter action that is now moving forward, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why people resonate with my TikTok, because I'm not a man hater in any way, shape, or form, but I do hold men accountable because I love men.
Correct.
Because I love men, I know y'all know better.
And what I say the same thing. Because I love women, that's why we here holding them accountable.
That's it.
The goal here is to want people to be better. Y'all know I've had conversations on this channel where I'm saying the reason why we're addressing what this person is saying is because we want them to be better. Because their views right now are screwing it up for themselves and for the people that they're sharing it with on their platform. We gotta change the rhetoric though.
And when I share my stories about the things that I'm doing or have done wrong in the past, and the lessons I've learned with young ladies, it is not my hope to shame them, make them feel any kind of way. It's to help them so that you're not broken by the time you find the man of your dreams. You know, and you can't keep pointing at men. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff that you went through. You did it yourself. Mm-hmm. And as long as you keep pointing at men, you're going to keep having the problems. And there's nothing wrong with messing up. Mm-hmm. Just don't get pregnant. That is my biggest thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't
get pregnant. Don't let that joker get pregnant. Don't you let him get you pregnant. Don't you have that baby with him. That's it. And if you don't do that, you can push through every little lesson.
One thing that is really refreshing hearing you talk, being 45 years old.
Oh, I didn't mean it in a negative.
No. I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did. But hearing you talk and how realistic you are, because you're not like some of these 45, 25, remember the girl I'll tell you about, where they're like, okay, the next guy I get with, he better be the one. And hearing you at 45, and you don't feel that way, is like, damn, like, that's refreshing. And not only that, but it's like, that's realistic.
It's realistic. If you can't make somebody be the one.
No.
Like, you can't. And you get your heart broken that way.
Because they either are or they aren't.
They either are or they aren't. And you're so focused on the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. It's like you're trying to make a brick fit into a triangle. Mm-hmm. And you're mad when it doesn't fit. Mm-hmm. And now you want to get mad at the brick. It wasn't supposed to go there in the first place.
That's right.
And
I like the analogy.
Yeah. And if you just step back, and I promise you, if right now, I'm so glad that it took me a little while to get this, but when you work on yourself and you got your glow, you got your energy, you got your nails right, your hair right, whatever it may be, baby. I just got these this morning, by the way.
They look good.
Thank you. When you get all that right and you're doing it for you because you want to put that air out there, like, I'm pretty. I'm a flower. I want to be held a certain way. I want to be talked to a certain way. That man will come to you. But it really does start with your inside. This just is additives to it.
That's right.
But if you come out swinging, every man ain't this, every man ain't that, you gonna get men who just like to fight. It's not even about you. It's just they like the little tussle just like you like to tussle.
It's that that I love toxicity.
And you don't even know that you do. You don't even know that you do.
You don't know if you do or not.
Yeah.
Because they say they do, but it's like, do you really know what that is? They don't really know what that is. They know that they can be in a situation that isn't the best for them or for the person they with, but they don't know if they actually like toxicity. They proclaim to be aware that they like toxicity, but I don't think they know what true toxicity is. A lot of it is just hood behavior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not necessarily toxic. It's just what it is.
Yeah. Hood love is overrated.
But yeah, y'all, look, we're going to wrap it up right here. I think we got enough. Is there anything else you want to say to the people?
I just want to say thank you to you for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. This is an amazing moment in history. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. You are amazing.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everyone who asked questions, everyone who came over from TikTok to come and see me here, and anyone who's new that listened. I appreciate it. I appreciate the moment.
Definitely go check her out. Definitely go check her out on TikTok, man. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, thank you.
But y'all, look, y'all know what time it is. Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See ya.